All right, another week, another eShop sale, and this one is massive. It's called the Blockbuster Sale. It does not disappoint. And I'm going to be covering the US, Canada, UK, Europe, and Australia. Now, I don't know, honestly, if we needed more ways to spend cash this week, given it gave us Hollow Knight Silksong, Star Wars Outlaws, and Kronos, but it's got a ton of great offers. I've also then got 2 winners to announce later in the video for 2 $10 eShop gift cards, and I've got 2 more to give away. If you want to enter, just drop a comment down below and I'll announce the winners next Saturday. Finally, if you do enjoy this, do me a favour, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. We are a smaller channel and every sub, it helps a huge amount. Alright, let's get into it. Ultra Age is 60% off, matching the low price, and this is an underrated hack and slash that I actually reviewed here on the channel. It's set in a post-apocalyptic future where Age, a young warrior, explores ruined landscapes to uncover humanity's fate and save himself. Now the story is kind of small in scope, but it keeps things moving, and the real draw here is the fast, combo-driven combat. Now you can swap sword styles too by collecting up crystals. This adds a great dose of variety, and it also runs perfectly on Switch 2, which is impressive given the speed. Now the crystal system, the changing swords business, can be a little frustrating. If you die, you need to grind to kind of collect them back up to push forward. But overall, I think it's slick, it's skill-based, and yeah, simply a lot of fun. So if you're into stylish action, this one's well worth a look, and you can check out my review below. Into the Breach is 75% off, a new at low price. This is strategy boiled down to perfection. Now the premise is simple. Humanity is under attack by giant monsters. Basically, we're going to send squads of time-traveling mechs as our only hope. The twist is that every battle is fought on tiny grids where enemy moves they're shown in advance. So success, it comes from thinking a few steps ahead. While the story, it ties into its roguelike loop. So when you lose, you jump to a new timeline and you try again, which gives every decision real weight. Campaigns, runs about 7 hours, but with new pilots, weapons, and squads to unlock, it is endlessly replayable. So for me, this is one of the very best strategy games on Switch, and it feels like it was just built for handout. Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus is 40% off, matching the low price. This is a hidden gem from Falcom, the team behind Ease and Trails. Now it blends modern day Tokyo with these strange rifts called eclipses. They basically spill out monsters into the real world. What happens is there's a group of students. They get caught up in the conflict, and now we're balancing everyday life with exploring dungeons in an alternate dimension. So yeah, the story is mixing slice of life moments with supernatural drama. Now, it was called generic at launch, but I think it's got plenty of charm. The combat, it's flashy, it's real-time action, and while those visuals are dated, I think the game runs real well on Switch. So yeah, great to see this one get a second chance, and I'd actually love to see it find enough success to earn a sequel. Sonic Shadows Generations is 40% off. That's a new low price. It's available on both Switch 1 and Switch 2, but there's a catch. There's no upgrade path. You need to pick either Switch 1 or Switch 2, and the newer version costs about $3 more. Now on Switch 2, however, the sharper visuals and improved frame rate, they are a game changer. And then here, you're getting the classic Sonic platforming plus Shadow's darker story campaign. It's essentially, well it is, 2 games in one. Now, if you missed it, I think it's a great time to jump in. But if you've already played the Switch 1 version, like me, I'd only recommend double dipping if you are just like a hardcore Sonic fan. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is 75% off, matching the low price. This is one of the most ambitious and unique games on Switch. Vanillaware, they traded action combat for a sprawling sci-fi epic told through 13 different characters, and they are all connected by time travel and conspiracies. Now the story is incredible, one of the best I've seen in gaming, and the painterly art style is just stunning. The gameplay then is split between narrative exploration and mech battles, but I will warn you here, the battles very easy. Basically, don't come here for them. That's not why you are here. This is about the writing, the characters, the mystery, and really how it all ties together. I gave this game a 10 out of 10 at launch. I'd still call it a masterpiece today, and you can find that video below. Inscryption is 60% off, matching the low price. This one's tough to explain without, spoiling it. I will do my best though. It begins as a dark deck builder with escape room elements. You're trapped in a cabin, playing cards against a sinister opponent. But the further you go, the more it transforms, constantly reinventing itself in ways you wouldn't expect. The card mechanics, they're smart on their own, but it's the narrative twists and, the world that make it just unforgettable. The less you know, the better. Just pick it up at this price, let it surprise you, and if you do want a spoiler-free review, mine is linked down below. So all of the Crysis games are on sale right now, but the standout for me has to be Crysis 2 Remastered, simply because it's the only one at a new low price, that is 55% off. Now it's set in New York as it collapses under alien invasion and military breakdown. You'll be suiting up in the nanosuit. This gives you cloaking, super strength, also a choice of really how you approach every fight. You know, stealth or just all-out warfare. And yeah, then the campaign, it's mixing wide combat arenas with some more linear moments. On Switch 1 then, it's impressive. I covered it in my review, but Switch 2 gives it a noticeable performance boost. So yeah, you know, it's an older game now, but on the Switch it feels like a technical showcase. Also a great time to buy it with this discount. You can find my review for Crysis 2 Remastered on Switch 1 in the pinned comment. You'll also find a video there where I checked it out on Switch 2. Beyond Good and Evil, the 20th Anniversary Edition is 40% off a new low price. It's great to see just this classic action-adventure return. Now you play as Jade, a journalist who uncovers a conspiracy threatening her planet. It mixes stealth, puzzles, exploration, and combat. The Anniversary Edition cleans up the visuals and the audio, but of course it's basically completely faithful to the original. It is light-hearted at times as well, but there's still layers of intrigue. And it was hugely influential back in the day. And with the long-awaited sequel still MIA, I think this is a perfect chance to revisit or discover it for the first time. Our Shaddai HD Remaster is 50% off a new low price, and this is a cult classic unlike anything else. Loosely inspired by biblical texts, you play as a character on a surreal quest through ever-changing environments to capture fallen angels. Now, each chapter reinvents the art style, often looking like something out of a dream. The gameplay though blends platforming with action combat, and it's focused on purifying a single weapon. It's definitely strange, but that's its charm. Now I played it back in the day on Xbox 360 and I was so excited to see it remastered. So look, if you like your action games stylish and definitely unconventional, don't miss it. Bakeru is 30% off, matching the low price, and this one, it's a spiritual successor to Mystical Ninja. That's something I've wanted for so long. It's a colourful action adventure though. It's built around really transformations, basically lets you shift forms to fight and solve puzzles. The world is beautiful. The visual style just gives it real personality. And the story, it's light but fun. It's going to be pushing you from, one quirky scenario to the next. And performance unfortunately isn't flawless. There are occasional stutters in frame rate and animation, but it's still a joy to play. So yeah, if you've been craving something in the mystical and ninja spirit, this is the closest by far we've had in years. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on 4 is 25% off, a new low price. It's available on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. And yeah, on Switch 1, it's a very solid port, honestly. It's very much similar to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. On Switch 2, however, the newer hardware looks fantastic. There are, however, compromises in both versions, but that's down to the build itself. So basically, two big things really. Soundtrack's been trimmed back, kind of understandable, licensing. But then the campaign mode is gone. Tony Hawk 4's bigger maps have been retooled into the challenge format of the earlier games, and that shift, for me personally, it doesn't quite land. Basically, they're too large for some of these activities. Because of this though, the package, it just feels a little incomplete as a result. But the skating loop itself, there's no denying it, it's still fantastic. Chaining combos, chasing high scores, finding secrets across classic maps. So yeah, it's not definitive, but if you are a Tony Hawk fan, you'll still have plenty of fun here. Our winners of the week then are on screen right now. Congrats both, email me for the code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next Saturday's video. Finally then, our last deal, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot plus a new Power Awakens set. It's on sale worldwide, but in the UK, Europe and Australia, it's an insane 86% off. That is a new low price. I'm not sure why the US and Canada didn't get the same deep cut, but if you're in those regions, perhaps wishlist it or even region hop. But yeah, this one, it's an action RPG retelling of the Dragon Ball Z saga. It's mixing open exploration with flashy, large-scale battles that really capture the anime's energy. The combat though, fast but tactical, with transformations and support characters. There's actually a decent amount of depth here. Now on Switch 1, performance was okay, a few stumbles here and there, especially in that combat. But I will actually have a Switch 2 performance review going up here on the channel tomorrow. I think this sale just makes it the perfect time to revisit it. So yeah, look, for fans, this price, an absolute steal. And hopefully tomorrow, I'll have good news to report when it comes to how the Switch 2 handles the build. And that is the sale. Let me know in the comments what you'll be picking up. And remember, commenting also enters you into the gift card giveaway, and those winners announced next Saturday. And if you enjoyed this roundup, do me a favor, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. It helps the channel a huge amount. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers all.